Good evening, LLC fans. Ooh, jet lag Johnny here, and I don't know about y'all, but given the things that have happened in the last 7 days, this one, this one should be a doozy uh, for personal, professional, and just perfunctory reasons. There's those P words that Sir Lucius likes to talk about. So let's get into it.
Well,
KOP, how are we doing tonight?
listen, I am blissfully happy with all things Olympics to this moment. There's really nothing that could take my shine away right now. I am in my petty bag. I am happy. I am thriving. And I can't wait to see how it closes. Um, since you are, uh, you know, jet lag Johnny, as you say, uh, you know, if you need us to take the lead as we've been doing so, welcome back officially, because that last show was kind of a little off there with your guest hosts. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We can lead you where you need to go, but I
I
just want to
was I was just trying to, you know, take advantage of my surroundings
I understand, but
and
I
bring
just want to say
some fallen fruit to the forefront. You
I
know
just
what?
want to say, and I know the governor will back me on this. Right off the bat at the top of this show, wherever the show is going to go, it's going to go. But I have to say how incredibly proud I am of you and Miss Chu for, as I told you via text, poetically delivering a bronze medal as coaches. That was amazing and
Bravo.
to watch.
Um, well, first off, I would love for the governor to lead the show, just because I don't think we've had a show yet where he has led, at least that I know of. So that's an absolute yes. As for the incredibly kind words, on behalf of Coach Chu, and myself, and Lyndon, and the tiny country of 125,000 people that is Grenada. Yeah, thank you. Um, no one will ever know how hard an entire team of people had to work to keep him on the track during the meet. No one will ever know what kind of dog is inside that guy, um, because when I tell you, at no point in time did the "I'm gonna win a medal" thought wane from his head or anybody in our group. That's a fact. We have this thing, myself and uh, John Regis, Lyndon's agent, and I don't want to give away my secrets, but there's a text that I sent him last year, overnight, uh, in Budapest, and then I repeatedly sent a similar text. It's a GIF with an animal. I repeatedly sent him uh, different versions of said GIF throughout the meet. Um, I did the same for this meet, and in both cases, the very last GIF was other animals being eaten.
Mm.
So uh, that's just who he is, and I know that we as coaches are incredibly proud of of our horse. At one point in time, I did say to him, "There's no one more built for this than you, and I would never trade my horse for any other horse in this meet."
Mm.
So, um, on behalf of an entire team of people, Coach Chu, myself, Dr. Josh Glass, um, the Estonian physio Risto, yeah, there was a, let's just say the young man had a minor injury in his second long jump.
Okay.
and we dealt with it for the next 8 events and the remaining long jump. Hey, that's why they don't give these medals out. You earn them.
Absolutely.
And for those who don't quite get the name of on the screen tonight, sometimes God has a funny way of showing things, but Lyndon and myself both were blessed enough to be awarded bronze medals at World Championships, and then the following year, the Olympic Games, 24 years exactly apart.
Yep.
So he makes the jokes that he has to get a different coach because I only coach him to bronze medals.
And see, part of the whole
and big league cosigns. So
part of the whole like the amazing aspect of all of this is I feel partly responsible for the first set of bronzes. Because it just seemed like during that time I was in bronze's orbit a lot. Down to, oh man, I mean, Sydney was just, yeah, we could amazing
Well, KST, you could take us down this road wherever we're gonna go first, but as I think we will get into on this show, all medals ain't built the same.
Whew.
And those right there that we've been discussing, amazing job.
Yes,
all involved.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Where are we going, KST? Where are we going?
Well, I mean, we have a ton of stuff to recap.
We can just run through the recaps. We can go right on down the list. I mean, if you
all right. So
be.
I'm in my mind. Okay. I have the women's events that have been completed.
Yes.
And we can go down the line, starting with the women's 100.
Oh.
And what our thoughts are on that phenomenal race. So what say you, Clyde?
What say me? First of all, what say me is bravo and thank you, Julian Alpha.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's hard, and I won't even really attempt to do it because it's not really my scene, but it's hard to articulate the level of importance that girl getting that medal in that moment on that stage means for her.
Yep.
Her very small island in
Mm-hmm.
the Caribbean, and I think the overall sport in general. I'm going to stick to the sport in general because that's really where I've been with it since it happened. The women's 100 meters this year was like after last year.
Oh man.
The women's 100 meters this year was supposed to be like potentially the all-encompassing race of these games.
Yes.
And then we lose Elaine Thompson. And then we lose
Sherika.
we lose Sherika Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the very, very last minute in the semifinal, we lose the GOAT.
Yeah.
Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. And it felt like the field had been cleared out of all challengers to the overwhelming favorite, which obviously was Sha'Carri Richardson. And the coronation had already begun. I mean, the coronation had begun from the American perspective for months.
Yep.
The ads, the commercials, the NBC features, like it was all in for the coronation of Sha'Carri Richardson. And whether you're a fan of Sha'Carri or not, that was undeniable. Like that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to the finals and the field is completely devoid of all legends. And for what most people considered, it was Sha'Carri and the Pretenders. That's how that race was being presented. But Julian Alfred's never been a pretender. Julian Alfred has been, since she arrived on, the college scene, a worker, a grinder, a champion, and someone who always comes to fight for these moments.
Yep.
And in a moment where no one was even remotely thinking about her challenging, not only did she challenge, she blew it away.
Dominated.
And when I say it's great for the sport, I mean that because, with all due respect to Shelly Ann, who, like I said, you can't argue, but statistically, she's the greatest ever. Shelly's old, and her time has passed. If you believe that E.T. might necessarily be the greatest ever, as the face of the EP is giving me, cool. She's also older in age and has been dealing with pretty serious Achilles-related issues.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Her time might be done. So for Juju, who I'll remind everybody is a rookie, for a rookie to do this,
Mm-hmm.
they're roughly the same age. So no matter what's going on with Jacko in the future or the Jamaican contingent, because Tia Clayton is real.
Yep.
Right? Whatever's going on in that part of the world, the Caribbean now has an Olympic champion not from Jamaica and a challenger
Yep.
to the Americans and Sha'Carri Richardson for the foreseeable future. Juju's not going anywhere. And so for the sport, if you're a fan of the sport, for that to be the result, I couldn't be happier. Like, I don't like coronations. I don't like coronations. I want to see races. I want to see challenges. And what Juju did to that field was unbelievable.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Love it. So bravo, Julian.
What say you, Bronzes?
So here's what I want to say, and I'm not gonna run around the block, but I just want to continue where Clyde was at. My first thing is, this is my fourth time in the Olympics. Two as an athlete, two as a coach, and I have one assessment that I know is 100% true. Prognostication and pontification about what's going to happen in the Olympics is absolutely and positively complete conjecture until the first round of whatever it is you're watching. Then you know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can make a real life assessment as to what's going to happen, because you have to wait till everybody shows up to the games and see in what shape they show up. Right? 12 days ago, I would have told you Shericka Jackson was going to win the two, even with Gabby running great. I was going to tell you she was going to win the two, and she was going to put up a very formidable fight at winning the one. That was like 12 days ago.
Most people,
maybe 15, right? Whenever she pulled up. So at that point, right, then what people don't get is, like, when somebody that is a medal favorite goes down, it doesn't just slide. Okay, so if you thought Shericka was gonna win, get second, whatever number, right? If you just pull her out, it doesn't just slide up, because there's a lot of butterfly effects to when favorites go out. Because sometimes people in fifth, sixth, and seventh positions now have hope that they didn't have before, and it changes their mindset, or it relaxes them, or whatever it is. I say all that to say this. If you watched the first rounds of the women's 100, you knew two things. One, Sha'Carri's starting issues sort of had returned, right? No one really cared because she was running so fast.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't start great at the trials. So, at the end of the day, if you watch round one, you're like, I don't really love it, right? But
well, let's be clear.
just
With one exception, she's never started.
right. But what I'm saying is, it's different when you see it in person on the track, right?
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
it was just kind of like, I don't really love it. She's probably still going to win, but I don't love it. And then you watch Juju run, and you're like, the second thing you know is she's a problem, and not a kind of problem. She's a real problem.
Yep.
right? Like, this is a real problem. And then as the semis play out and you know what the lane draw is, I'm not going to put a whole bunch of stuff out there, like I know secrets. I'll just say this. When you saw the lane draws, you knew that there was a potential issue for Miss Richardson. And whatever percentages you thought were going to happen with Miss Richardson and Juju, I think if you were really paying attention, by the time the lane draw came out, 50-50.
Yeah.
Like I'll say this. That's what I thought. Like, as crazy as this is, I was in the stadium and still didn't see the race live because I was helping do my job, right? Like, we had to warm up for the quarter. 15? No, for the 15. So we were underneath the tunnel, like, heard the gun, jogged over, saw the screen. But when the gun went off, I was like, well, this should be interesting. Because I knew it wasn't going to be the walkover that at once people thought.
I'm gonna come back to that, but I got to hear what KST has to say on this.
And I'll just say this: like, anybody with eyes, if you watch Juju's first 2 rounds, like, there's no way you didn't think she had a shot at winning.
Yeah.
Unless you blind.
Well, to add on, and all I'm going to do is add on. As much as I saw the energy coming out of Juju, I did not see that energy coming out of Sha'Carri. And it was very strange. And obviously, there are a lot of subplots and there are a lot of stories that have yet to be uncovered as far as the last couple weeks of preparation, where we don't see these athletes, where they're sequestered, where they're, getting prepared, going to their training camps, all of that stuff. But I don't know. I did not see the Sha'Carri that we saw last year in Budapest, the Sha'Carri we saw at USA Championships. I did not see that here in Paris. It seemed much more, the level seemed to come down a bit. And even when that gun went off in the final, I didn't see someone that I was actually challenging for the gold medal. I did not see that. And my comment, my thought process was, now we've seen situations where Sha'Carri has literally gotten last in a race, right? Amongst her peers.
Mm-hmm.
So me being who I am, the fact that she was able to get a silver medal at the Olympic Games is a step in the right direction. Now, what she was supposed to do and what she was hyped up to do and what the media and everything had, thrown out there with all the press coverage, all the media coverage, I mean, it could not have been served up on a platter. It could not have been more ready-made for her to be coronated as the queen of sprinting. And the lack of noise after the 100, it's very, very, it's very telling. It's very telling.
I don't want us to spend the whole night talking about the 100 by
Yes.
any means, but I do want to say this part because I know that this is going to get lost.
Oh, we have, yeah.
It wasn't lost there, but I know that it was never going to get talked about on US media. And if we don't talk about it, by the time this is over, it will get lost. The thing that the big league and I are most proud of and what we were involved in is the greatest night of sports in the history of the Caribbean islands.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
On that night, the islands of the Caribbean won the women's 100, the women's triple jump,
Yep.
second in the women's triple jump, third in the women's, second in the men's shot, or third in the shot?
Third in the men's shot.
Third in the men's shot, and third in the decathlon.
Oh, listen, we're definitely going to get into the Caribbean is crushing it at these games, and not in the traditional ways, right? It's not Jamaica, unless you want to talk about Jamaican throws.
Yeah,
right?
and jumps.
And jumps.
Yeah.
But okay, so we do our fair share of debunking nonsense on this show. People, I know it's 2024 and we live in this fake world where the internet drives all truth. There is no truth to the TikTok rumor that Shelly pulled out of the meet because she was denied access to the warm-up track.
Right.
There is no truth to the idea that Sha'Carri Richardson was denied warm-up capabilities because she was locked out of the warm-up track.
Yep.
That is not true. We know it is not true. Team USA people have said that it's not true.
Right.
So stop with the nonsense. Security protocols change all the time.
Well, let me say this.
And there are bulletins sent out, updates
in
sent out.
Paris. Security and protocols in general changed every day, but not, I mean, like at the practice track, at the warm-up track, going to the cafeteria, like, you know, if you're one of those people that goes the same route every time, excuse me, you were going to struggle a bit, because what you mean I can't go this way? That happened a lot. Right. That happened a lot in Paris.
And honestly, I'm not trying to get into a conversation about security measures at a place like the Olympics, but that could totally be strategic. You don't know. We don't know. The point is that people see one thing that is true. Oh, they told Shelly she can't come through that gate. And it turns into a whole other thing.
Right.
Where they went on an hour-long hike and didn't make it to the call room. Like, people, stop. It's utter nonsense. What was blatantly obvious to me, and we wouldn't be fair if we weren't acknowledging this, to the governor's point, bravado, mental, emotional, whatever you want to call it. I saw Sha'Carri Richardson after the first round. She looked every bit Sha'Carri Richardson. Where it changed was in the semifinal. And a year ago, in the semifinal in Budapest, she had a horrible start, but she closed and damn near ran them women down.
Yes.
When she got parked on the outside in lane 9, she knew,
yes,
no matter what happens, I know I can get there.
Right.
And she had a good start for her, and she got there, and she's forever the world champion. 20 years from now, she'll still be the world champion. But in that semifinal, Juju told her, nah, you can't do that to me. I'm 6'9" in the 60, and I'm 21'7" in the 200. And you can't do that with me. And when she walked out that tunnel for the final, it was all on her face.
Yeah, man. It was very clear.
No chance.
Yeah.
And I never thought I would see that. Not from her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when she walked out there, you could see it. And that's why I'm like, Juju's a problem for a while.
Continue.
I want this to be the last thing we say about the women's 100, because we could do this all day. But it's like, the numbers you just gave are the part that kept blowing my mind. Everybody's talking about how it was going to be a blowout. Like, Juju's faster in the 60 and the 200.
Yeah. Right.
If you're faster than somebody in the 60 and the 200, you always have a chance to beat them in the 100. I mean, that's simple math.
Yeah. Hey,
if I can beat you to 60, simple. If I can beat you to 60 and I can show more speed endurance, beat you to 2, like, at some place in there, I could beat you in the 100.
Yeah. So.
But hey, that was just one of many things. What else we got?
What's next? We're going 100?
Yes. Let's go right across to the men's side. Let's discuss this amazing race, which will be dissected for decades, historic. And then we'll start with you, Bronzes. What was your take on the men's 100?
Okay, let's start with the debunking. Noah won that race. No, nobody choked. Nobody lost that race. None of those things, right? Like Keishane tightened up like 98 or 99 meters. You know why? It's his first Olympic 100-meter final, and he's human, and it's normal, and it's not like he fell apart. I don't know that him tightening up changed anything. If we're gonna listen, if we're gonna call a spade, I'm gonna say this, and everybody's gonna say I'm crazy. Go back and watch the race. If Fred Curley leans 1/10 sooner, Fred Curley is the Olympic champion because 100 meters and 9 inches into the race, Fred was winning because his lean was perfect. It was just a fraction late. So when the line comes and he's going like this, right? By the time he got to full lean, he's out ahead of everybody. But the line is here. So at the end of the day, Fred ran a great race. Shane ran a great race. But you have to listen, I'll be the first one to not want to, but you have to give Noah his flowers. That is Carl Lewis-esque.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't think I'm coming. You know I'm coming.
Mm-hmm.
Here I come. Y'all think y'all got it, but there are 11 inches left in this race, which means I can still.
Yep.
Right. And look, if you run a lifetime PB to win the Olympic 100 meters, you are in the tiniest of tiny classes.
Yes.
And it says everything, and there needs no more dissection. A lot of people had a lot of things go for them in this race, right? Like, listen, far as I'm concerned, Marcel Jacobs' win in 21 is now validated in my head.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of different things. Now I think that almost every single run of Oblique Seville's has been a Fugazi time trial, right? Like you name it, there's a lot of things that happen in that race. But the one thing that nobody can argue about, like locked in, done, we just Noah Lyles did that damn thing and he won that race. And the man ran 979. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
I'll say this. I'll be pretty short on this one. First of all, I'm not talking about world records. That was the best race you've ever seen in an Olympic final.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best race. Everybody, with the exception
it's
of
the only race in the history of track and field where every single person ran under 10.
Ran under 10 seconds.
Correct.
All 8 people started, all 8 people finished, and all 8 people ran under 10.
Correct.
Best race ever. With the exception of Oblique Seville, everybody ran exceptionally well in that race.
Mm-hmm.
It was phenomenal. You may not be a fan of Noah Lyles. And I can understand that crowd of people. But Noah ran his mouth. He backed it up.
Mm-hmm.
He now is world and Olympic 100-meter champion.
Yep.
Which is a very small group of humans who've ever done that.
Yep.
He has set the table to be world and Olympic double gold sprint man, right? Even a smaller class of people have ever done that. So you don't have to like the boy. You don't have to like his bravado. You could think he's corny. You could think it's fake, whatever. But that boy backed up everything he's ever said.
Mm-hmm.
And in a world, hell, in a track meet where there's a list of people who couldn't back up what the shit that they've been talking. If Sha'Carri choked, Noah is the ultimate, like, come through moment. Like, you can't deny what that man did.
Yeah.
Like, that's a legacy gold medal for him. Because 100 meters, like, it's a secondary event. It still is. So you just got to tip your hat to the boy.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is, man. Like, man.
So, fastest ever time for 4th, fastest ever for 5th, fastest ever for 6th, 7th, and 8th. We are seeing and this is something that, I've talked to, quite a lot with especially younger athletes. When we talk about shoes, tracks, that sort of thing, what has happened with this technology is that the bottom has been raised.
Yes.
Folks that are on the lower tier are now stepping up. Okay. Now, what's not talked about enough is the fact that we still have 958 hanging out there in the ether. We still have
Gonna be there.
1059,
It's gonna be there.
Well, this puts it all in perspective.
right?
You know how Brian Wellman and I can be on these topics,
Yes.
right? So this was the best one. If you did a graphic with pictures, right, of Bolt's 958, but like was that London?
958 was
Oh,
Berlin.
Berlin world champs.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you put his 958 race, right, if you put him and second place in that race on the graphic, you can fit the entirety of 2024's race
Yes.
in between.
In between. Yep.
All 8 of those guys would fit in between. They would be severely gapped at the front, and they would do a decent amount of gapping on the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Unbelievable race.
The whole race was within 0.12.
Yeah.
Best 100-meter race ever.
Now, what do we all know? We've watched a million races. If they're all gapped together, they ran slow. Right? Anytime you watch 100 where like first through eighth is all bunched together, you're like, oh, they must have all ran slow.
Yep. Not this
today.
one.
Not this time. When you run 991 and you choked and you basically like across the line. I mean, if he's on his game, that makes everybody under 990.
Right.
You're right. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, the hype, the unknown of Kishane Thompson, and just knowing what Noah Lyles and Fred were capable of. I mean, I think what made this race so and will remain memorable is that Nike Foot Fred.
Hey, listen, man.
I dare you to bet against this man.
Dude, Fred's a different dude, man.
Please,
like,
please bet against this man.
I'm gonna say this till I'm purple in the face. Not everybody feeds off of prosperity.
Oh man, absolutely.
There are some people who work best when the house is on fire.
Oh no, dead ass.
That's just dead ass true.
You have to understand. We watched Fred Curley in New York.
Yes.
Literally set his contract on fire.
Yes.
On purpose.
Yeah.
He walked out to USA's head to toe Oakley.
Oakley. Yes.
And somehow he merged with bronze in the greatest 100-meter race ever. Hey man, listen, Fred's a different dude. We all love him. We all respect him. Sprint needs to do better by Fred in part 2.
Yes.
Because that you could do a whole series.
Oh man, just that alone.
On that issue alone.
Yes. Absolutely.
So we are here for the Fred Curley praise.
Yes.
Because that was nuts.
All right, moving on to the women's 200. What are our thoughts, Clyde? What are our thoughts on that race?
My thoughts on that race and my thoughts on in general are Gabby Thomas is one, America's best sprinter. And if that somehow rings untrue to you, I'm going to need you to understand what the word sprinter means. And then I'm going to need you to do the math. Because in, the world of athletics, the sprints are 1 through 4. And there is no one in America better 1 through 4 than Gabby Thomas. Okay? So Gabby is America's best sprinter. Gabby delivered the gold medal that she has worked so hard for these past few years. And Gabby Thomas and Tanja Buford-Bailey, their names do not get nearly the amount of respect in this world that they deserve. Like,
Absolutely.
Gabby is what every daughter should aspire to be.
Mm-hmm.
She's brilliant on the track. She's brilliant off the track. She spends her time off the track trying to make our community better. Like, she is often ignored. She is often undervalued. She is often disrespected. And hopefully, this gold medal will open the doors, because Gabby Thomas is the face that our sport needs.
Right.
And I don't mean that by her looks. I mean that by her work on and off the track. Gabby Thomas is Black excellence personified. And again, Tanja and the work that she has done with this woman is just standing ovation, phenomenal work.
Yes.
I to watch her dismantle the 100-meter champion over the first 100 meters was a sight.
Yeah.
And honestly, Gabby's super smart. She knew at 100 meters, oh, this is over.
Yes.
I think she pressed a little bit,
right,
and ultimately didn't get the mark that she probably thought she could get. But you know, one extra nugget about Gabby Thomas, people act like they don't understand this. Gabby Thomas now has had a faster PR in 200 than Allison ever had. And correct me if I'm wrong, how many Olympic gold medals does Allison Felix have at 200 meters?
It's a good question. How many? One. That's wild.
So
wild.
Bravo,
Yes.
Gabby Thomas.
Yeah. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I feel like, you know, adding Sharika to the mix would have made it even more pleasing. I think it would have been a great battle. But earlier this year, we saw Gabby Thomas and Tanja set the stage for what we saw in Paris. What did she do? She goes out and runs sub 11 in the 100. What else does she do? She goes out and runs sub 50 in the 400. Okay? And you could see the planning, the meticulous planning, and the stages that were setting her up for the Olympic trials. And then when she shows up in Paris, I mean, it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. And the only thing that didn't happen, in my opinion, was that she didn't threaten the world record. She didn't get under 2050, 2040, which I think we all felt that she could. But it's a little bit different. One or two things can happen once you've cleared the field in a 200. Either you can try to make it happen, or you can just let it happen, right? And it looked like there was a little bit of pressing that she was doing, I'd say from 120 on. And, you know, lesson learned, these are things that, you know, as a young athlete, you will, you know, go back to the drawing board and you'll start to figure out. Congrats to Juju for winning another medal. And you know, again, walking away from these Olympics as a double medalist from the tiny island of St. Lucia. Big ups to Juju for doing that. That battle for third, I mean,
hey, Brittany Brown. Brittany Brown, bro, listen.
We're gonna start calling Brittany Brown Denzel. She said, I'm gonna leave here with something.
Absolutely.
Brittany Brown is a racer.
She is. She is.
It's never pretty.
No.
She just gets there.
Right. Absolutely.
She figures out how to get there.
Yeah. It was one of those deals where the fact that she was in the mix, you had to know that that dog was coming out, that she was going to find a way. And she sure did.
I tell you what, though, if Mackenzie was in any lane but two,
Man. Yeah.
because she sold her soul on the turn.
Yeah, she did.
And she rolled.
And
Yeah.
she got to 140, and it was just like all of the Mackenzie-isms we were used to seeing, they weren't there because she had sold those to get off the turn in contention.
Yes. Yeah. Let's go to men's 400.
Wait, we're not doing one of these. We're saving the decathlon for last type thing.
Yes. No.
We've already gushed about the decathlon.
Yeah, we talked about the decathlon.
We opened with the decathlon.
I mean, what else needed to be talked about?
Right.
Dude, there's so many things that happen in that meet.
That's because there's so many events.
Yes.
We love you.
I mean,
Bravo.
yes. That was the highlight. Come on now.
Right.
I see. Well, you know what? We appreciate it. The men's 400. Good God. I mean, that's a whole show.
Okay.
You want me to go first? I can.
Yes,
I mean,
please.
it depends. You want me to get this off now or later?
I'll let you go last because you way too excited for this.
I'm not excited. I'm sad.
I'll just say this. From Monaco, I think you knew this result was going to happen. Right? Every time he's touched the track since Monaco, including Monaco, you're like, I'm not sure it matters what anybody else does.
Yeah.
And he said that day on the screen, there go that dog. They ain't ready for that dog that I'm bringing. It's literally what he said.
He did.
And he was right.
Yeah.
Because, listen, if you tell any one of those guys you run 43.80 in the final, all of them are smiling because they're like, well, I definitely at least got a medal and I got a chance at the dub.
Right.
That got you fifth. Right. And five guys under 44 flat.
Greatest ever.
In 2024, given how fast other things have gone, you would say, yeah, that makes sense, except for the fact that just hasn't been that hasn't looked like it was going to be a reality.
No.
Since like 1989.
Yeah.
Right? When all three guys ran under 44 seconds to make the US team in the 88 trials. Like that's the last time it looked like that, where it's like everybody's running under 44. I mean, that race was crazy.
It was.
And
so we saw the fastest 200-meter split ever.
Okay.
Here's what's wild. It was a kamikaze mission, and he got beat for a medal 399.5 meters in.
Yeah.
You have to tell the people what we know what we're talking about. Tell the people what you're talking about, sir.
Okay, look, when Butch Reynolds ran 43.18, 43.29, right? He ran it, and he'll tell you he ran it because Innocent Egbunike was in like lane 7 or lane 8, lost his mind, sold his soul to the devil, and ran out in like 2070 or 2080, right? And so that's what happens. Somebody sells their soul and then dies, and then everybody else reaps the benefit. Jareem went out 2046 and finished.
He did. It almost worked.
Listen. No one runs 2046 through the 200 and PBs by a massive amount.
Right.
That is exactly what Jareem did. Like, he didn't die. He didn't tie up. He literally just got beat at the end.
Yeah.
Because the man ran 43 seconds.
Yep.
So, listen, if anybody who doesn't have a medal deserves a medal, Jareem is the one. Because he deserved a medal for making that race as fast as it is and still being part of it at the end.
Yeah.
there's the Dream Richards issue is cruel
It's
because
cruel. It's cruel.
Dream Richards, for people that don't pay attention, Dream Richards was a phenomenally talented 200-meter specialist.
Sprinter. Yep. Yep.
And at some point in his career, he looked at the landscape and was like, you know what? Ain't no medals here. So I'm going to do what no one wants to do. I'm going to take my ass up and run this 400.
Right.
And he's been working at it, and he's been grinding at it.
Yep.
And on the Olympic final, that boy went out in 20.4, which is, by any other account, stupid.
Yes.
And it almost got him a medal. And you feel heartbroken for somebody like Dream Richards. I legitimately do. I'm a huge fan of the dude. Like that, it was great to watch, but that also sucked to watch.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah, for sure. Because
listen, the Gamecock, okay? Quincy Hall, you could put Quincy Hall and Fred Curley in their own little boxes over here. They are different human beings.
Right.
Okay. That boy's a converted 400 hurdler. Who knew? Right? Like, to watch him do that, I root for the Gamecock, so that was dope. But like, for me, this race is like there's so many people who usually get things wrong, like Matthew Hudson Smith, who got it right.
Yep. Got
it right. And the dude, like the crazy boy with the gold teeth, snatched it from him on the line. You know what I mean? Like, Dream Richards got his medal snatched at the line. And for all the people in that situation that who's the African kid? Where did he come from?
Yeah. Right?
Like, there's so much of that. And for as great as all of that to watch, I'm sorry. Michael Norman, no. Like, no. And I have been a card-carrying member of the Michael Norman fan club for years. I have defended it. I have justified it. I have made arguments to pacify situations. And when the dust settles, I'm sure at some level there'll be stories coming, oh, this was hurt or that was hurt or whatever. I don't care about none of that. We can't have that. That was tough to watch. That was sad to watch. Michael Norman is too gifted to perform like this on these individual big stages. And we just may have to come to grips with the fact that he may not be that guy. Some people are built for the stage. Some people ain't.
Let me just say this. If I don't hear in the next 24 hours that Michael Norman is hurt and severely hurt, I'm shredding my Michael Norman card. And so I'm going to believe in my heart of hearts that he was hurt.
Yeah.
You're almost hoping for it. Like, I'm hoping, like, you don't
that's
want
what I'm saying. Like,
you don't want somebody to be hurt, but it can't go down like this.
I would have a hard time accepting that he went down in flames like that. Like, I mean, yeah. But let's talk about
I hope everybody gets this much from these Olympics. The Olympics there's a Grand Canyon between the importance of the Olympics and the importance of the World Championships.
Right.
And it's because it happens every 4 years, and it doesn't matter how good you are or what happened until those 16, 17 days.
Yeah.
This is not the result of harbingers. It's not like, oh, well, he looked good in January and looked good in March, so he won. Like, nope. It's how you showed up when you went through security and they gave you your credential. That's when the clock starts as to who's going to win. Because it does, like, who you were prior to security check-in is not relevant at all. Because what they want to know is how fast are you when you have that credential around your neck.
Absolutely.
Just for the record, I tried to put my credential on this morning at home. All right, yeah, you wear your credentials so much.
let's give Kirani James his flowers. Let's
Oh,
please.
you know what? Can we pause? Can we do it? Can we do it now in the middle of our review?
Sure. Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
so my question for the LLC and myself, barring some kind of very out of body experience miracle, this was probably Karani James' last Olympics.
Nope.
He's gonna go for LA.
Yep.
Cool. He'll probably make it because, like,
Why would he not?
Listen, he's unbelievable. My question is this: right now, is Karani James a Mount Rushmore 400-meter runner?
Boy.
All right. Well, so I'll just jump in here and start with this. I'm not necessarily giving my answer yet, but I'll say this. I think one of the criteria for being on a Mount Rushmore of any kind is you have to have done something that very few or no others have done. Wouldn't you guys agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think there's another human being on the planet that has a set of Olympic 400 medals.
Okay.
Right.
So in baseball terms, he's hit for the cycle.
Yes,
Yes.
he has a gold, silver, bronze
Yep.
From the Olympics.
from the Olympics.
He also has a gold, silver, bronze from World Championships.
He does. He has a pair of sets. So I think I'll say this. The only person that I know is on the Mount Rushmore whose face got carved before Karani's is MJ.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
After that,
I said, ooh, okay.
So listen, I was watching a random interview with Michael Johnson, and I think he did an accidental flex. Michael Johnson has 8 Olympic gold medals, and he has no medals of any other color.
No. I'm not disputing that Michael Johnson's on the Mount Rushmore. You said that he's the only person.
I said he's the only person that I know for sure his face had to be carved before Karate.
Right. That was the
Right. Now after that, I have to think about it. Right. Like, I mean, you
only get 4. Mount Rushmore is 4.
I know, and I'll say I look at them and it's like, okay, would I take Quincy or would I take Karate? And it's like, for one race, probably Q. For a career, not close.
Well, he gets on Mount Rushmore for longevity, without question.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'll tell you what, if the whole let's go after Butch saga hadn't happened,
Mm-hmm.
that could have made some things interesting.
Okay.
You know what? I don't want to belabor this.
You gotta give me the 4.
Oh no, that's not what you said. You asked me, is he on the list?
I want the 4.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm doing that because that might be too long. Because all
right, let the EP think it out.
I'll say this. He's on mine for sure.
Wow.
Okay, but you're not gonna tell us the other 2 because it's Mike and Karani and you're a decathlete. Don't run from hard things.
If I was going to make the all-time 4x4 of Olympic champions,
Mm-hmm.
I would probably do it like this, no order, but Mike, Quincy, Jeremy Warner, and Karani.
Oh, okay, all right.
Like that probably would be my 4, only because like LaShawn's got some issues, and here's the thing. It's unfair to Lee Evans because the sport wasn't professional.
Yeah.
See, like this is the thing that nobody really gets. The 68 Olympic team is not only the best track team ever assembled, it's also one of the youngest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If that was now, the 68 Olympics and the 72 Olympics and maybe the 76 Olympics would have had their fingerprints and footprint all over it.
Right.
But if you go back and look, almost all of the gold medalists and almost all the superstars from the 68 Olympics, that was it.
Yeah.
The vast majority of them you didn't see in 72 or 76. So, would Lee Evans be on my Mount Rushmore? I would say without question, if his career was allowed to last beyond like 69.
Okay.
So for me, I think that's my 4.
I got you.
Don't ask me for the
What
order.
say you, Clyde?
Mine was easy until the very, very end. Yes, MJ's there. For me, yes, MJ's there. Yes, Karani is there. You can't go gold, silver, bronze. Gold, silver, bronze on the world side. Karani made 4 Olympics. Now you can say, oh, well, he comes from this little island, so of course he's there. Now, damn that. He got a gold, he got a silver, he got a bronze, and he made this final.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he was just
43 in 3 of those 4.
right. It's not like he was just at the Olympics. No, he's doing things there, right? So for me, Karani's absolutely there. Mike's absolutely there. Wade Van Niekerk is absolutely there. It's the last spot that I struggle with. And for me, if it came down to, and it did, Lee Evans, Quincy, and Jeremy, I got to go with Quincy.
Time out.
Yes, sir.
In what world do you have Wade Van Niekerk ahead of Jeremy Warner?
He's gone to the
because
world record.
Because the question was Mount Rushmore of
Mount Rushmore.
400-meter runners.
Yeah.
He is the world record holder. He is the Olympic champion, and he won worlds more than once. So, yes.
So you add that to them. Okay.
I didn't say Mount Rushmore of Olympic people, but even if I did, 43.03 in the Olympic final to win the gold medal. Yeah, he on there. He is the standard everybody is chasing.
I mean, let's call it what it is, right? If that's the case, then Lee Evans is 43.87 is superior to that by every measure.
Again, I considered Lee Evans in there. To me, it came down to the last spot. Yeah. So my last, so I got Mike, I got Karani, I got Wade Van Niekerk, and I'm taking Quincy over Lee Evans. If you could probably talk me off of that ledge, but you're not talking me off of Wade Van Niekerk in there. No chance.
Interesting. So for me, before we're going to move on. I would have to say Wade. I would have to say MJ. I would have to say Kirani, and I'd have to say Jeremy Warner. I mean, I just feel like those guys you have a mix of the most decorated athletes in the history of the event, and then you add on the world record holder who has the Olympic record as well and set it all one time, boom. I mean, it's a moment that will stand the test of time until somebody crazy enough to run 42-second comes along.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say this. I know it's going to sound weird. I'm more impressed with Olympic records than I am with world records.
Okay.
Well, that one's one and the same.
Yes, but I'm just saying I'm much more like if you look at it historically, they last longer.
Oh yeah.
Because they're much more monumental occurrences. It's not just because they only get attacked every 4 years, right? It like listen, ain't nobody breaking the world record in the long jump. Probably while we're alive. But I'm telling you this, our grandkids might be alive when somebody makes an attempt at the Olympic record in the long jump. This is 29.5.
So, and that's what I'm saying. When those things happen at the same time.
Yeah, like I get it. Like
at the moment,
Wade's
Bob Beeman's
43
was the same time.
Wade's 43 dead in the games is a where were you at?
Yes.
Moment.
Yes.
Rudisha in the 8,
Rudisha,
right? For sure.
Yeah.
So I can't really fight y'all on Wade on the list. It just I think I just got. I'm overwhelmed by Q.
Yeah. Well,
I think I've
you
seen that in my dreams.
you and me both. I mean, we it's different. It's different when you were there. It's different.
I mean, it started from watching that dude run 46 flat in the dual meet chewing gum. I was
Hey, but
like, what are
I'm
we
just
doing?
pointing out, you don't have to be overwhelmed by Q. I got Q in with
Yeah.
Wade. You
I
got to
know,
kick somebody else out of there.
but at the end of the day, like Jeremy Warner's resume is actually better than Q's. So like,
Yeah.
it's like it's like cross country. If Q's in, that forces Jeremy in on my list. Like it's he get pushed in.
What is the next
Man,
event for
man,
all?
we're gonna have to split this up because there's so much more.
Oh no, we
So,
got another. We can just go faster.
all right. So let's just touch on the men's 800. The men's 1500,
I was
sorry.
about to say, hold on, what did I miss?
Men's 1500.
Well,
Okay.
clearly I'll go last.
No, you go that. So again, I am an Ingebrigtsen fan.
Oh my goodness.
Some people hate him. I love the dude.
Oh man.
You cannot run your mouth and do that. You can't do that. And listen, I respect everything he did in that race. It was completely ballsy for him to set a world record pace and dare anybody to come get him. Problem is, everybody came and got his ass. He's the best rabbit ever. You can't do that. That can't be the answer.
Oh,
and
man.
for it to be that moment, right? Kerr got his.
Yeah.
2 Americans on the podium for the first time in 100 years or some shit.
Yes, 100 years.
For what I was most impressed with in that moment was actually Cole Hocker's brain.
Oh man.
Because not only did he set his race up really, really well. He knew he was the sprint wise the fastest guy, right?
Yeah.
But he waited. In a moment where he could have panicked and tried to swoop out, he was like, no. I know Ingebrigtsen. He's always going to flare out. And as soon as he does, I'm going right through the door.
Yep.
Oh, it was so good. Like, when this whole thing is over, that might be, to this moment, 100 meters, 1,500 meters, those are the 2 best races in the Olympics. I think the 1,500 was better. Like, for all the drama that was before, for all the things that were said, I'm still a fan of Ingebrigtsen, but bro, you ain't never gonna lay that one down. No.
So, again, a number just pops into my head that will just, for me as a coach or anyone that I would even think, or if I was even thinking about coaching the 1500, telling someone that they're going to go out in 151.
Ooh.
151. When that flashed up on the clock, it was akin to when Michael Johnson crossed the line. I saw 1932, and I was like, no, something's wrong with my screen. Something's wrong here. 151, and they were there with him. They were still there. And then, what's amazing is, thanks to technology, thanks to the tracker that they have in their bibs, like they've actually shown the path that Hocker took, because he runs up on Ingebrigtsen's back, realizes nope, it's not there, and just waited, and then he gets on the home stretch and then dips again to the inside. Unreal strat, like in that moment, like to make a decision like that, phenomenal. And for all the front running that Kerr and Ingebrigtsen have been doing in these last 2 years, I can only imagine the amount of angst and the amount of just anger that was building up with those 2 Americans, because Naguse and Hocker, stepchildren. They're not even in the picture. Like, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna dominate this race. Those 2 guys put the pedal to the metal. It was phenomenal to watch. I will be going back from time to time just to replay that race. because and it's an Olympic record too, right? Fantastic, man. One of the highlights of these Olympics so far. So what say you, Bronzes?
Well, we'll start with this. I told y'all 3 months ago he was going to win. But more importantly, because everybody's gonna say I said it because he went to my high school. More importantly, why did I say he was gonna win? Because he has the best kick in the business, and the race in the games always comes down to the kick. And the craziest part about it is Jakob Ingebrigtsen interrupted the kick.
Yeah.
With 100 meters to go.
Yep.
Closed him down, and then reacted to Kerr and the Goose coming out to the right side, and just moved about 6 inches over to the right. And my man was like, "We are out of there."
Yep.
Like all he had to do was clear that left shoulder. As soon as he got past Ingebrigtsen's left shoulder, I was like, "Oh, it's a wrap." Because now there's nothing between him and the finish line but him. And he was like, "Yay!" I'm convinced if they all raced in a quarter, Cole Hocker would destroy them all.
Oh man.
Oh yeah,
Because he's so much faster than the rest of them.
Yep.
You ever seen in movies or in TV shows where there's a cool moment where like, a dude or a female for that matter will say something to somebody they really want to get at, and then they walk away all smooth, right? See, that's what Bronzes is trying to do right now. He's trying to say, "Yo, I told y'all 3 months ago who's going to win," and walk away all smooth. The problem is, on the show, when it was time to pick, you were about to forget to pick the boy to medal at all.
But that was literally a 54-year-old moment. And I said that at the time. I was like, nah, I'm doubling down on my pick. It had nothing to do with
you good.
It wasn't a wane.
No, it's just not as cool as it could have been.
See,
it's all right.
It's still cool.
No, it's absolutely.
But more importantly than that, right? I mean, trust me, that was really cool. What was awesome to watch is, again, I said earlier on the show, if you start paying attention on day one of when the Olympics starts, right? Whatever event you're watching, if you watch the prelims, they will tell you everything if you know how to extrapolate from there. It was clear and present that Cole Hocker has a giant weapon, and he now is skilled enough to use it. Right? Like one of you said this on the show, and it definitely was said in the village in the lead up, because I was on the Hocker train, on site. But he's never won anything. That's true.
Yeah.
Because he has always mistimed kick. He's always been too far and had to kick from too far.
Right.
If you watched his prelim races, you're like, oh no, they got a problem. Because he has run enough 5Ks and he's strong enough that he can just hang off the back of the meaningful pack.
Right.
Right? When he was in fourth with 200 to go, I was like, there is literally no way he's not winning this race. Like if I could have froze things in time and bet all the money I've ever seen in my life, I would have bet it, because there was no scenario that they could keep him from winning with 200 to go. With 200 to go, he could have gone 4 wide and still won.
Yeah.
What's crazy is when I saw the 151, I said out loud, but to myself, because no one was there with me, I said, "Oh, Jakob's gonna win."
Yeah.
Because there's no way there's no way that they're gonna hang with this. And at 1,200 meters, I said, "Oh, bro, he's not gonna get a medal." Because they were all still there.
But the thing is, see, look, here's the thing. If you watch Jakob at 151, you could think that. But if you watched 4 places back and watched Hocker at 153,
right,
you were like, oh, they got a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like by the next 400, no one was going to be able to hang. But when they came through 12, I was like, oh no.
Yep. All right, let's go to women's hammer.
Cameron Rogers.
It's wild that Cam Rogers is a baby and we know her and we love her, and she's not the story of the hammer.
Boy. Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to butcher this wonderful young lady. She seems like an amazing person. I'm not going to attempt to attempt her name because I will definitely butcher it. I'm just saying.
Etchi
Kunwuke.
Yes.
Yep. You know what? I did it once. I'm not going to try it again. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what perseverance and performance look like.
Mm-hmm.
She was supposed to be in the 21 Olympics for Nigeria.
Yep.
And that didn't happen. Undaunted, she went the harder route, made the team against all odds.
Hammer team to make in the world.
Made the team against all odds 3 years later, and then was like, "Here, hold my beer," because y'all thought I was done.
Right.
It's when somebody punches the field in the mouth. It's very interesting to see who can actually rally, because Cam is usually the one that punches the field in the mouth, and that's not what happened.
Right.
Right.
The young lady that we speak of hit everybody in the face, and Cam was the only one like, I think she knocked all of them out.
Yep.
Well, I got one of those.
So
right.
I'll say this quickly about Cam, because we all adore Cam, and I got to witness Cam train up close and personal with Mo when I worked at Cal for 2 years. I just love the girl. Like, she's so good for the sport. And since I am not a hammer aficionado, I will share the question that I asked to y'all via text so y'all can educate the audience. While in college, first of all, it's not even close. Cam's the greatest hammer thrower in the history of the NCAA by a mile. But while in college, she got a silver medal at Worlds.
Yep.
As a rookie, she got a gold medal at Worlds. And now she is the Olympic gold medalist. What more will she need to do to be the GOAT of women's hammer? Because she's
all right. I'll shut
there.
this down. I'll shut this down real fast. She's not even close to being there yet. But
no.
Let me help you.
Tell me.
And I know you just became a hammer fan, and I get it, because Cam is the easy one to like, right? Anita Lodarczyk just competed in her 5th Olympics, and in those 5 Olympics, she was 4th, gold, 4th, and she is still the world record holder. So Cam's got a long way to go, because that doesn't include any of the world championships. So she's got a long way to go. But I'll say this: I'm a fan of what you do when you do. If we're going age for age, Cam's the only one that's got a shot, right? Because she could easily win in 28, and she could easily win in, I mean, when I say easy, none of this is ever easy, but age-wise, she could easily win in 28 and 32, and then, she probably is by then, if that makes any sense. I'm not saying she doesn't have to win 28 and 32 for that to happen either, but I'm just saying what she has done is ridiculously impressive for the amount of time she's been doing the hammer.
Well, when I said she's close, I mean, like, is she not number 2?
I'd have to do a bit of a deeper dive.
Yeah,
there's been some fairly good and
First
fairly
of all,
long
how
hammer
old
careers.
is the hammer at the professional level?
Women's hammer?
Yeah,
it's not that old.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But to your point, if Cam was a stock, I'd buy a lot of it, because she's probably going to break the world record.
Yes, she is.
Right, and she's probably not going to lose very often in her career.
So hammer started in 2000 at the Olympics.
So there's your point. Lodarczyk's been in all of them.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Right. Is that 5? 2004, 8, 12, 16. Oh, nope. She's missing 2. So she's got 12, 16. No, 8, 12, 16, 21, 24. So she's missing the first two.
So, how do you pronounce her name?
Vlodarchik.
Vlodarchik, yes.
Vlodarchik.
Yeah, so Camilla, I don't even want to say that. Polish athlete wins in 2000. Kozenkova from Russia wins in Athens. Moreno from Cuba wins
She
in
was a monster too.
Beijing. Then Wazarczyk wins in 12, 16, 20. And now Cameron Rogers is the new queen of the hammer. Yeah. Let's go to men's long jump. Okay, let's move on to men's.
No, we can't move on.
Congratulations. Listen, you can be impressed with Tontaglu's stranglehold on the event in his time.
Yes.
And you can look at his medal count and put him in the category of greats of the event. It's just he ain't beating nobody that's doing anything. And it's
a tough, honestly, he's in a similar place to Dwight Phillips. He's in a similar place to Dwight Phillips. Dwight Phillips is absolutely great and phenomenal, and he doesn't get mentioned that often when they start talking about greatest of all time long jumpers, because I think he beat Saladino. Right? Like he didn't, he didn't have to beat. It's like, how many 28-footers did you beat?
Right.
It's that kind of deal.
Right.
But
it's not fair when you
it's not fair at all.
When you talk about eras.
Tintoglu jumped 865 twice at European Championships, right? So he's that dude. The only issue is he is 30 centimeters from the world record.
Right.
He's also almost 30 centimeters better than everybody else.
Yep. See, that's the second part. I don't care that he's 30 centimeters from the world record. I care that he's 30 centimeters better than everybody else.
But what I'm saying is that's the part that sucks, right? It's just it makes you that weird tweener.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Echoes of Greg Rutherford winning in London.
Look, if things don't rapidly change amongst some of the youngsters, Tintoglu's going to win in LA.
Yes,
absolutely.
And then he will crown himself as the second best long jumper of all times, which just isn't true.
Right.
But statistically, nobody
the resume will be impossible to debate.
The resume will be impossible to argue with.
Yeah. The one thing as a coach and as an athlete that doesn't seem to be either, it's not resonating with the athletes nowadays, but you cannot come into the Olympics hoping for a PB. You can't come into the Olympics hoping that all of a sudden, lightning in a bottle, boom, I hit one, da-da-da-da. You have to be consistent throughout the year. You have to line up and you have to get after it. And you have to have a series of events where you are competing at the Olympic level, going into the Olympics. And that is something that is seriously a problem, in my opinion, especially with athletes in our hemisphere. It's I don't know. And perhaps what we're dealing with right now, and God knows we talked about this ad nauseum, is that if it's okay to win a meet, whether it's Diamond League or a meet here in this hemisphere with 8:15, okay, win it with 8:15, I'm fine.
Win is the win.
Sorry, that is not getting you ready to jump 8:40 and 8:50 when you need it. It doesn't work that way. So I'm gonna get off my soapbox. Let's
I just want to say for the record, my man Ehammer came this close.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean didn't medal again?
No, he didn't. Hey, you know what though? Ain't nobody gonna say that I didn't have the balls to pick it.
Yeah.
No. I was. You see, I was gonna give you a pass on that one. I wasn't gonna bring it up.
There's no pass necessary. Look, I picked the guy to finish third. He got fourth. At the end of the day, he got beat. I
All
mean,
right.
he's jumped far enough to be second,
Yeah.
right? Like that's on him.
So I'm gonna pick two more. Women's triple jump. What are our thoughts on that?
Best event of the meet so far.
Hmm.
From
Okay.
from a feel good story.
Oh, okay. Feelings.
Okay.
Best vibe.
No,
Best
because
vibe.
you also had to be in the building. Like, okay, these words happened, right? There's a storm coming. You need to jump far right now in this round.
Yeah. We need it
Those
now.
were the coaching words given from husband to wife.
Mm.
Wife says, "Got it." 1504,
Yeah.
1502, on the spot.
That's it.
And it looked even bigger than it was. Like that was a monster jump.
Her landing is still a little sloppy from time to time, but who cares? Hey, y'all remember when I told y'all that Ricketts was? Oh wait, no, I picked the whole podium in correct order.
You did.
But
You
remember,
did.
I told y'all, dude, there's something about Ricketts, man. She's like a jumping version of Andre DeGrasse. Like they're giving out medals. I need to get me one of them.
I'll be here.
Right? It's just because she has looked sort of like half baked trash a lot this year.
All year.
Right? But it was all, in preparation to be ready for the games.
Right.
So,
No, Theo Lafong is one of the ultimate good vibe stories of these games. It was great to watch. It was great to watch. I loved her giving an education.
Oh, that was
to those that don't know at the press conference.
Fantastic.
It was great.
Jazz and Nick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome to see.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Awesome to see. No drama in the qualifying. No drama in the early rounds. Like,
nope.
We are here to stay. Let me solidify this medal piece real quick.
And the last time an American got a medal in the women's triple jump was?
Never.
Never. So, bravo for certain.
I mean, there's been a lot of that going on.
So much has been talked about.
Canada's men's hammer thrower. First Olympic gold medal by Canada in the hammer. First medal in 100 years.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
First women's hammer medal for the United States.
Yep.
We've won world championships twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But never won a medal. That one was shocking.
So many new things. Almond winning the disc. I mean, that was quite decisive. First discus throwing medal for Jamaica.
Hey, that was crazy. So we just praised the idea that Olympic records are more impressive, and I think we all co-signed on that. Yep. Yeah, okay. So the world record holder, Electa, throws the Olympic record in the competition, and then a random Jamaican discus thrower, coached by Ryan Krauser, says, "Oh, okay, bang, I'll do the Olympic record."
Oh man!
And it's the greatest discus competition in history of the Olympics. Like, really? Like, okay, no one had that.
The subplots. I mean, they're going to be talking about the decision by Rooks to take out that 3K steeplechase to get second. I mean, the balls. I mean, I don't.
That'd be the opposite of Ingebrigtsen.
Yes.
Like, hey, we gonna make this work.
Fantastic.
Not lost on me from the discus is that was a rematch from the NCAA championship 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when Stoner was at Arkansas and Electner was at Cal.
Interesting.
And let's be clear, Lekna's still at Cal. He just took the year off to try to go get this gold medal
Yeah.
and had it snatched from him.
Go get this bag secured real quick.
He broke his daddy's record.
Insane.
Didn't get it.
Insane.
Yeah.
So we'll finish
Again,
off.
you can't throw 69-97 in a drug-free world in the games in a stadium with no wind and lose.
Right.
But
So
then you do.
Let's finish off with the men's pole vault. What are our thoughts on 625, third attempt? I mean, everything about it. Let's go there.
Listen, I'll just say this. I don't mean this in any kind of derogatory way. Mondo's just fucking with everybody. Like,
listen. Okay.
They showed. Listen, they put up a stat. It said that his clearance was like 670 or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's fucking with everybody.
He has broken the world record on third attempt like 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a real life theory about it. Look, at 595, there was a great deal of drama and trepidation and emotion, right? Sam Kendricks knew he had won silver medal. He made 595 on his first and took off running, right?
Yes.
I said right then, Mondo's going to win by a foot. But that's the point, right? He doesn't get adrenaline from the competition.
Right.
Right.
Because there is no competition to win.
Yeah.
Let me go secure this bag real fast. 6'10" on my first.
Yep.
None of y'all can jump this high. All right, I'm by myself. Sounds good. All right, let's quit messing around. Put it 625.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you pick a sport. You've never seen an athlete more dominant, more in control of their sport than Mondo is of this sport right now.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember when I said that I'm not 100% sure of this, but Mondo might be the best athlete at his sport ever? Remember I said that on the show?
Yeah.
Because he holds the age group record. So like the best person of every age from age 6 to whatever age he is.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
He's like 24.
Right. So
this is going to continue for a long time.
But what I'm saying is he broke the world record. But there's still not a 12-year-old as good as he was when he was 12. That's what I'm saying.
No, 100%.
Right.
I'm just
he's
saying
been this much better than everybody else around him all his life.
Yeah. And it's going to continue because it's obvious, and I'm not suggesting he should do anything else. Every year, he's going to pick one or two major situations that he's entertained by, and he's going to go break it by a centimeter. So how many more years of this do we have? 10, 15? Like, listen, man, I love it. I'm here for it. You just pick the night that is Mondo night, and everybody come in and throw a little party, but there is no competition. He's screwing around.
Again, for those who like and watch the pole vault, that's now a world championship indoor, a world championship outdoor, and an Olympics outdoor that I have seen this man win a competition by a foot.
Yep.
With the world record.
By a foot. Yes, all 3 competitions are also won with a world record.
And again, we should never get numb to it and appreciate it for what it is, but just understand, Mondo Duplantis is at a place where he is choosing in advance, I'm gonna go break the world record here.
Yep.
And we all just gonna show up and wait for him to do it because it's gonna happen. Like, that is impossible.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the future. Let's talk about what we're looking forward to the most going into the last few days. I know for me, and I know for bronzes, the amount of Olympics that we've been to as athletes, right around this time, you start to feel melancholy. You start to feel a little bit of, man, this is about to be over. And I'm about to.
I told you I tried to put my credential on this morning.
Man,
I got home last night at dark 30. I woke up this morning like, and in my brain, I gotta put my credential on and walk down to the cafeteria. I'm like, oh wait, I'm at home.
I mean, these events, these Olympic Games are lifetime experiences. Like you cannot put a price on it. You can't explain it when you're in it. So what do we have left? So
Well,
in terms
we
of
have the most anticipated two wars of the games, right?
Yeah.
okay,
In the same event.
same
In the
event.
same event.
400-meter hurdle finals. First, you got to go ahead and get your predictions off. Make it
Yes.
fast.
An American sweep.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
And that wasn't hard for me to say.
This is the women's 400 hurdles?
Women's 400 hurdle. No.
He meant Sid and Rye.
Yeah, Sid and Rye.
Oh, okay.
We asked about both events, right? So I figured they were both going to win. That was my sweep. There's no world where the Americans, well, the men can.
Okay. All right. Will there be a threat to the world record in the women's 400?
Actually,
No.
Will we see a sub 48?
Now that's possible.
Right.
But 47.99 is not close.
Right.
I know Sir Lucius is not here. He's busy, rightfully so. But I need to be petty because I am. A long time ago, and I don't even remember the context of how it happened, but Sawa-E Nasser's name was brought up on this show, and I said, rightfully, that her suspension was for whereabouts. And everybody was like, no, she tested. No, she didn't. It was for whereabouts.
Right.
And that record needs to be corrected. I knew I was right. However, she seems to be very much back. And so if you tell me that I'm getting the previous version of Nasser head to head with Paulino, I think I'm still gonna take Paulino, but I picked I picked the Bahamian last time, and Nasser said to hell with all that and busted everybody's head open. So hey, the women's 400 got a lot more interesting.
Absolutely.
Over the past 48 hours.
Yes. Can I just say that both 400s have just torn at my heartstrings, though? Like watching Shawnee Miller-Uibo moonwalk backwards and watching Michael Norman just shrink from the head-on view, just watching him get smaller and smaller and smaller. God.
Yeah, but Shawnee had a whole baby. Like
I understand why both of them are in the predicament. It's still not easy to watch.
No, it wasn't fun to watch. It wasn't fun to watch.
Okay.
What am I most looking forward to is the question.
Yes, what are you most looking forward to?
It's twofold, and they're connected. The all things relays, I am always looking forward to at the end of these meets, be it World Championship or be it Olympics, and the relay situations pop off tomorrow. There's so much drama, there's so much intrigue, there's so much behind the scenes, blah, 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 blah. What I am here for and most looking forward to, and I really, really hope I see it, and if we don't see it, I'm going full-blown shenanigans alert, is watching Gabby Thomas become the golden girl of these Olympics. She has her individual goal, and there's no reason on planet Earth that the American women should not win the 4x1 and should not win the 4x4, and Gabby Thomas should be on the track for both of those finals. And if she is, and it goes the way it should go, if I told you at the beginning of these Olympics that Gabby Thomas was the one going to walk out with 3 golds, you would have told me I was high. Gabby Thomas
I wouldn't have.
Is potentially American's golden girl.
Yep.
Well, so here's the thing. I would always have thought that she was going to win 3 gold medals. If I believed Gabby was going to win the 2, which I didn't think she was going to be.
Well, then there you go. So that's my point.
Right. But what I'm saying is she's the only one that had a chance at 3. Unless you told me Sid was going to run the mixed relay, there was nobody else has a chance at 3.
No. But as you understand, the nuance of that is very specific. No one cares if Gabby Thomas walks out of here with 2 gold medals and it's only in the relays.
Right.
Yes.
It's the individual gold that leads to the Golden Girl status, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the issue. I am here for that moment. And I'm here for the relays. And there's a lot of intrigue in the relays on every possible angle you want.
Yeah.
But starting tomorrow, I will be up dumb early, or maybe I'll just stay up to see the prelims and how it pops off, because the prelims, from a competitive standpoint, from a political standpoint, from a shenanigan standpoint, will tell you all that you need to know about things that are goings on.
I'll be up at 3 to watch. I will say this.
What do you think?
Just as an addendum, dear USATF, going forward, can we put Rye Benjamin and Sid McLaughlin on the mixed relay?
I
mean,
like, can we just do what the Europeans do? Put the star from the second half of the meet in the final of that race at the beginning of the meet.
So just let me throw this hypothetical to both of y'all.
Oh boy.
It's a hypothetical.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be clear. It's a hypothetical.
I got you.
What if I told you that Sydney McLaughlin and Bobby Kersee were willing to run the mixed relay in Paris?
Well, we know that to be true because Bobby said that.
Oh, now see, I was just trying to throw hypothetical out there. So if Bobby actually put it out there,
He said that in the run up to the LA invite. He was talking about the possibility of Sid and a thing running on the mixed relay.
Well, if Bobby Kersee was open to Sid McLaughlin running on the mixed relay and no one went and followed that up, then my entire view of the mixed relay has completely changed, because I had no problem with the mixed relay. Like, you know, like, what are you going to do with 47 high? Nothing.
Right. Nothing.
Because that young lady from Arkansas ran her ass off. She did a beautiful job.
Yep.
But if you tell me that I could have had Sid and was willing to have Sid and we didn't get Sid, then that's very, very different.
I'm telling you, listen, it should just be a simple, like unwritten rule. We're going to put our best 400 hurdler on the mixed relay in the final. It's just that simple. I'll take the person who won the 400 hurdles at U.S. trials over the person who was 5th or 6th in the 400 at U.S. trials.
Oh, shout out to NBC. They did a very cool graphic as it relates to Sid in the 400 hurdles. They put a running line of Sydney McLaughlin's world record up against the previous Olympic final 400 meters open. And she didn't get last. She finishes in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, it was the line was right there in the mix. Yeah.
God, I love it.
So what are you looking forward to, bronzes?
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to both 400 hurdles. And I'll be honest, the thing I wanted to see probably more than anything at this meet is I want to see Grant Holloway win his gold medal.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I've grown incredibly fond of Hansel Parchment. Shout out to their wonderful coach, Lucina. Just to the nature of sometimes cool things happen at the games. The decathletes and the throwers got relegated to another track. And your first blush, you're like, of course, we're out here 25 minutes from the village, ain't nobody out here. And then you realize, oh, wait, nobody's out here. This is awesome. Nobody's in my way. Except Toby Amasan and Hansel Parchment were out there doing hurdle practice. And so I watched a hurdle practice that had Toby Amasan, Hansel Parchment, and Lyndon Victor.
Hey,
and because of that,
Kobe looks good.
It has become really easy for me to root for those two people. So
no, Toby looks
She looks really good.
good.
She looks really good. And I'll say this, she looked really good in practice too.
Like, man, she is the world record holder.
They also got problems because JCQ looks really good too.
Mm-hmm.
She does. And you can see it. Like, it's a rhythm thing.
No,
Like,
she looks
there.
good.
But I think we have to get this in. On the things about the Olympics that you never knew you wanted but can never now live without, I'm here for the repercharge, or however the hell you say it.
Lord,
Phenomenal.
that's a whole other.
No. We'll get into it on the full recap. But I am here. That will always be moving forward.
I feel differently about the repercharge as a fan and as a coach. That's all I'm gonna say.
We'll bring that one back.
I didn't want to leave the show without answering the men's long jump. What is very clear to me, because I didn't speak on it, what is very clear to me is that we don't have a talent shortage. We have an execution and implementation issue.
Mm-hmm.
Because the same coaches, for the most part, coached the women, and the women had no problem qualifying.
Yeah.
A similar group of coaches coached the triple jumpers on the female side, actually, and on the men's side. And for the most part, they didn't have any issues. Like today's, I mean, it's stuff that Donald and the young man from Donald Scott and the young man from Miami didn't make the final, right?
Mm-hmm.
The young man from Miami is a child. And qualifying at the Olympic Games is incredibly difficult. And a lot of times, if you're coming out of college that year, you're just cannon fodder. He kind of was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Donald's up 1677.
Yeah.
Right. 3 guys jumped 1679. 1 guy jumped 1679 and didn't get in.
Yeah.
He lost qualifying for the final of the Olympic Games on countbacks.
Yep.
That's brutal.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, it's not like, look, it'd be different if you jump 1620, but you jump 1677 in qualifying, you feel like you got a pretty good shot.
Yeah.
And you get 14th.
So,
and it stinks.
Speaking of the triple jump, again, you know, from all aspects, and especially from our hemisphere, this was supposed to be the coronation of Jaden Hibbert. This Olympics were supposed to be the welcome party, just come in here and just, you know, wreck shop. Well, it looks like, well, it's very evident that he is not healthy. And the reports are saying he's suffering with a knee injury. And, you know, is thinking that he will be okay for the final. But what we're seeing, and this is something that it's starting to become more of a trend, a disturbing trend. I mean, for as young as Jaden Hibbert is, and for what he's already done in his career, you know, at some point, you know, like when you're trying to manage yourself and manage your body for major championships and preparing for major championships, he hasn't jumped that much at all. But physically, like there's something that's going on, right? And I feel for him, because, you know, the talent is unquestioned. There's no question. Now, you take Jaden Hibbert out of the mix, and what we saw at the European Championships with 2 athletes going over 18 meters, and no lack of bad blood between the 2 of them, 2 Cubans representing Spain and 1 representing Portugal. It's quite the sub story, you know, that they're in different colors, and it's like they've all almost forgotten that they're both from the same place. So
if you saw qualifying today, you will be forced to take all of the money out of your bank account and go bet it on Picardo.
There you go.
Like, okay, for those who didn't see it, let me paint this simple picture for you.
Mm-hmm.
It was 5 centimeters off the back edge of the board. He had on a hat backwards and long tights. And he fell into the pit at like 17:46.
Very nice. Very nice.
And
One
he
and
got
done.
out, he got out, he got out of the pit and was like chuckling, like he was amused by the simplicity of this event.
Yeah. All right. Well, this was another pleasure. It's been a pleasure talking to both of you gentlemen. We have a couple more nights, mornings, and afternoons of the Olympic Games. May you enjoy them the way that I'm going to enjoy them. Certainly a lot more drama to come, but we're going to sign off for now, and we'll see you next week.